So here we are, Wednesday night. It's the special Super Bowl preview show. I am Coach, and I'm with
KC.
And we are
Faithletic The Podcast.
Live and in color for the special edition tonight.
What's happening?
Super Bowl?
Oh, yeah.
That's all, just the Super Bowl.
You know, I just have been laying in bed thinking about it nightly for the past 3 days and all of that, you know, so.
Mr. My team is playing in the Super Bowl for like the 80th time in the last 85 years.
I mean,
Feels like it with the Cowboys.
We've been doing shows together for the past
4 years.
4 years, and so they've made it 3 out of those 4 years.
Yes.
But yeah, you still want to call me a homer.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Because I don't think you've ever picked against the Chiefs the whole time that we've
why would
done
I?
this show. Well, I'm just saying, you've been wrong some.
How many times have I been wrong?
I've been right more than you've been wrong.
No way.
I think. Well, it
No
looks like
way.
it this year so far.
No way. No way.
We're down to the last week of our picks, and we never really come with official. I guess games of the week is the name of our segment. So
Sure.
I guess we call it games of the week. But you are 3 games trailing, sir, or is it 2? I forget.
I think it's 2. But I just don't think
3 games.
3 games. 3 games behind, or 3 points behind, whatever you want to call it. But yeah, I just have a tough time picking against the Chiefs because they're just that good.
They're good. I don't know if they're that good or not, but they're good.
Oh, boy. We already have a problem tonight.
Why is that? You and I are going to have a problem?
Yeah, because you're not going to give the Chiefs their flowers.
Well, I think I've done a pretty good job of it. I gotta be the devil's advocate here.
Okay, that's fair.
I mean, we have to. It's kind of like the undisputed. You know, somebody has to argue it, right?
Somebody has to be Skip.
Yeah, somebody has to be
Skip.
Skip. Well, I don't know. What's his name? Is Shannon's just about as argumentative as he is.
Well,
so.
he's not even on the show anymore.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, because Skip
run him off?
Yeah, well, Skip did him dirty.
What'd he do?
Oh, it was like I think it was back in November where he took personal shots at him.
Oh.
Yeah, when he he was saying Tom Brady, something about Tom Brady being the GOAT, and he told him you wouldn't know a thing about something, and it was just a bad deal.
So coming from the guy who's never played the down,
exactly,
the guy who's a Hall of Famer.
Skip, I got a gold jacket, and he's like, I don't care. What is that? Who cares?
That doesn't even make sense.
It was a whole mess.
Doesn't even make sense.
Yeah, and it was also he was also pretty mad. It went downhill.
I bet it did.
After the DeMar, actually, it's been almost a year.
Has it been that long?
Yeah, it's been that long.
I rarely watch that show. I mean, I'd see it in passing sometimes when I do my daily channel flip thing.
Yeah.
And every time I've seen it now, I kind of bypass
You'd
it.
really like First Thing First if you think I'm a homer.
Okay. Who's that?
There's a show, Nick Wright, and he's the biggest Chiefs fan.
Okay. Yeah, I wouldn't like it. I don't really like shows. I mean, that's maybe why I do the reverse effect, is I don't like shows that show homertism towards. It's like, look, I'm going to get myself in trouble here. I won't say names, but there's a specific sportscaster here in Oklahoma City that clearly sides with one college football team here in town.
Even though he played for the other side of town?
No. Well, that one does too. But he tries to do it in reverse. I'm talking about one that did play for the team that he's pulling for, and he really gets his feathers ruffled when he's called out. Let's just say that. And it doesn't happen very often.
Interesting.
But it's and they have their own show on Sunday night, so you can probably figure out who it is.
Yeah.
And it's almost like.
See, I like
turns my stomach sometimes.
I like a good mix of it. I don't want a lot of it.
Yeah.
But I think I kind of sit with him in this regard is it feels like we've been lifelong fans.
Yeah.
But at the same token, it's like I still feel like I'm looking at it pretty objectively.
Yeah.
Because of.
I don't know if I'd agree with that.
That's fine, but that just means you're not a believer in Patrick Mahomes.
I never said
as
that
much
either.
as.
I just, hey, look, I mean, you've got a good point. They're really, really good. Maybe it's just my my negativism to teams that are supposed to win, because generally that's what it's slanted towards. Unless I hate them, and then I know they're going to win. And I don't hate the Chiefs. I like the Chiefs.
Yeah.
So that's what makes me think, because usually teams I like, Thunder, Oklahoma State, Dallas, Cowboys, Texas Rangers kind of flipped that this year. But teams that I like generally don't do well in the end.
Sure.
They usually don't. So I'm just saying.
Well, let me tell you, I haven't had a lot of success in my life with my sports team. It just so happens that over the past few years, I've been lucky with the Chiefs, because if you look at really I like the Chiefs and the Royals, and
you like what?
I like the Royals
fan
and
now?
White Sox. Yeah, yeah.
This is about the Royals.
Yeah.
If y'all don't know, there's kind of an ongoing thing here that Gunslinger and I had with KC is he has more favorite teams than anybody I've ever seen. I mean, it's the Chiefs, it's the Bears, it's the Blackhawks, it's
Chicago teams.
It's the Cornhuskers, it's Iowa Hawkeyes. It is the did I say Bears already? Bears.
Yes.
Oklahoma State. Let me think here. I'm missing
You're
somebody.
You're just naming. Look,
but it's true though.
Look. Here's the deal. So, yes, I understand what you're saying.
Yeah.
Okay, but you have to understand that Chiefs are the number one team. And yes, do I like the Bears because I grew up in Chicago? Yes, absolutely.
I think you would be just as gaga right now if the Bears
were in the Super Bowl
and Taylor Swift was dating Mike Ditka or something.
Oh my gosh. Wow.
I think you'd be just as gaga.
I don't know, man. I don't think so. I do. Because the Chiefs are my childhood team. When I grew up, my first memory is of watching sports.
Yeah.
Is Joe Montana on the Chiefs that year when they faced the Bills in the AFC Championship game.
Right.
That is my first memory. So I get it. I deserve some of that, but I spent my years in Chicago where
you didn't have much. And you weren't even live when they won the Super Bowl, right?
No.
Yeah.
No. So
when were you born?
88.
Yeah, well, a couple of years later.
A few years later. Yeah. But yeah, that's who I watched every Sunday because I didn't have NFL Sunday ticket, so I watched the Bears, and I really liked Brian Urlacher. So anyway, of course I would be excited if the Bears won, but this is what I've maintained my whole, even living in Chicago, is that if the Chiefs ever played the Bears in the Super Bowl, I'm rooting for the Chiefs. That's always been clear. In fact, I said it even subconsciously after a operation, where there was I had my wisdom teeth pulled.
Okay.
Under laughing gas just after the Chiefs had beat the Bears in the preseason.
Okay.
And my mom has me recording
oh no.
of me telling the nurse, she was trying to tell me, did you watch the Bears game last night? And they didn't quite beat the Chiefs, and I told her as I'm a Chiefs fan, baby. Called the nurse baby.
How old were you?
Yes.
How old were you?
Oh, I was 17, I think. So
hitting on the nurse.
Yeah, I think I was, but subconscious.
So here's the thing that I don't like is the person who probably grew up around, wasn't born there, but lived in let's say an area where you've known them for a long time, and all of a sudden you start they're wearing the gear and they're the fan, and they don't even watch football, right?
Yeah, that's
so
tough.
all of a sudden they're an expert at their team, and you.
No, I think
you never what?
And you know what? That's really hard.
Bandwagon fans.
That's really hard for a lot of Chiefs fans is
Yeah.
because Patrick Mahomes has brought on and Travis Kelce and this and even before Taylor Swift, that's brought on a whole nother group of fans, which is
not even fans. They're Taylor Swift fans.
Sure, right? Fans. Yeah, but
those kind of make me.
No, I did. Listen, I will say about that, it is really cool that I have, and Colin Cowherd talked about this too, is there are females in my life that did not care about football. Yes, was the entry level, did they start because Taylor Swift maybe brought them to the product, but now they're asking me football questions because they're like, I think that's pretty cool. My mom has been more.
See that.
My mom has been more interested in watching this year because she loves Taylor Swift too.
Yeah.
But she's telling me this weekend how she feels about the Super Bowl, which she's always been along for the ride. But I think this past couple of years she's been.
I'm all about generating more fans.
Yeah.
It's just the ones that act like they're experts all of a sudden.
No, that's tough.
When they haven't even followed it for 5 years, and all of a sudden, hey, our Chiefs won, and
our Chiefs are
woohoo, doing all that stuff.
Yes, and I'm like, okay, can you name 5 Chiefs starting quarterbacks in there?
I can name more than they can.
Yeah, probably.
Well, I'm a fan though.
Sure.
I'm a football fan.
Yes, right.
I could name 5 before you even finish the sentence.
Sure. Yeah.
Lynn Dawson, Steve DeBerg,
Joe Montana, Steve Bono,
Alex Smith, Patrick Mahomes. There you go. There's 5.
Brody Croyle, Tyler Thigpen.
See, I wouldn't even remember those.
Tyler Palco. Yeah, this is bad.
Yeah,
those are some bad years.
Cowboys have had a few of those.
Quincy
Carter. Quincy Carter, Ryan Leaf.
Yeah.
Chad Hutchinson.
Did they have Chad Pennington for a minute
Chad
too?
No.
For a minute?
Did not. No, they did not. But they had Chad Hutchinson. Drew Bledsoe. Man, they were really bad in some of those.
Gosh.
Vinny Testaverde.
Bernie
Kosar.
They really thought Quincy Carter was a guy.
Yeah.
They really did for a second there. Who else was some?
Steve Pellure. This is before your day. He was kind of a fill-in for Steve Pellure was at Kansas City too.
Oh, was he?
Yep. He's kind of fill-in for Danny White and Troy in between that era there. I think Pellure was starting quarterback when Danny White was towards the end of his career before Aikman was drafted.
And then you have Cooper Rush.
Cooper's the guy.
What a rush.
Yes.
So
towards the end of our show, usually what we do every year is obviously we pick the game, but we also pick the props. So we've got a number of different props that we're going to incorporate. If any of our viewers would like to chime in, our live chat is open. Last week we had some chatter, but I didn't figure it out till almost the show was over with. So I have now figured out the technology in chatting on YouTube, which took me about a year.
We did it. We've arrived, and David Larry Carroll.
Yeah. DLC.
He has not shown up. You're on the clock, sir.
We're calling you out, Bubby.
Come on. Come join us.
But so I'll do this at the first of the show. We'll do it towards the end. If you're joining us for the first time, Faithletic is a unique concept in podcast entertainment. And that is what we are. We are very amateurish podcasters and entertainers to some degree. But the unique thing about it is we try to incorporate athletics, our sports, and faith. And thus you have the title of our show, Faithletic.
Yes.
The podcast.
The podcast.
And towards the end of the show, we always share a devotional, which I believe I will do today because you did it last week. We try to rotate it out. Just giving people some hope and wisdom and some good news, obviously.
We love it.
Yep. But before we start diving into the Super Bowl stuff, we kind of talked off air about this, but just so people know, we're both professional wrestling fans. I'm more come from an era of the 70s and 80s where wrestling was still real at the time. not really, but it seemed like it. It seemed like it.
Yeah.
Casey.
Of course, when you're
you're that age. And,
yeah.
And Casey's more of a '90s, 2000 guy, and current.
Correct.
We both, follow it today, but not so much. And I don't really care for the cartoonish product from the WWE. I'm more AEW guy who seems like to be more athletic and more kind of the NWA style that I grew up watching. So there's been this kind of thing that you and I have talked about where Cody Rhodes, who actually started the AEW, he was part of the inner circle, the management team, whatever you want to call him, and his contract ran out.
The Elite.
Yes, the Elite. His contract ran out. He comes over back to the WWE. All of a sudden, he's got this story of finishing what his father never did, which is win the WWF title,
Sure.
which was back in the late 70s. And I've been maintaining all along that now I understand McMahon's not running it anymore,
Right.
But Triple H is.
Triple H is.
And I do think that he has a reputation of squandering talent that is not original. Even though Cody kind of is original, but he defected over, started AEW, so he's kind of an outcastish. And I don't know, his dad was well revered, but also took a beating back in the late 80s.
Right, he did. He did.
He was mimicked and made fun of, and Vince McMahon, made money off his expense. What's he supposed to do? I've maintained all along they're never going to let Cody have this championship belt. Because of that, you feel a little bit differently, but it's starting to look like I may be right. So let's talk about that for a second.
Okay. First of all, I do want to say one thing, or correct you respectively.
Wrong. Okay.
Where I do follow very closely the WWE. You said we're not as much. I am
you do
very
yes.
much.
I
into
don't.
It, yes.
Okay.
Because my wife actually does love to watch the WWE as well.
I think you've said that before, though.
Yes. So
mine does not.
Yeah, sure. So she does, like, that's one thing that she'll drop her iPad and we're like, okay, we're locked in. She has her favorites and I have mine.
That's
so
really
anyway,
cool, that's cool.
Yes. So anyway, Cody being one of my favorites for a long time now, and I can trace this back to probably 2012 of him being one of my favorites when he was he had his mask and everything. And anyway, so that being said, this happens, right? All this happens. Cody we've spent a year on this story where Cody has been, like, the pop that he had when he first came back 2 years ago was insane at WrestleMania. So that was 2 years ago.
What did that tell you, though?
That he did a lot for the company, or for pro wrestling, and I think people appreciated what he did for pro wrestling. I think
they were following him in AEW.
Yeah, definitely.
Because if they hadn't have been, they wouldn't. What is he doing here?
No. And I think that, and it even goes before that. I think people had really appreciate what he did before AEW in New Japan, and like he went across the world and really went at these small circuits, and he did a great job of building up his character into something people liked more, and I think he got a lot of respect because of that. And so for him, it was like coming home in some regard. And so Cody is built up. When he comes back, he's immediately welcomed in by WWE fans. I don't think that there has been a time where people have wavered from that. I think people have really enjoyed Cody pretty much for who he is across the board since he's come back to the WWE, which that's dangerous territory sometimes when you're this well liked for so long. But anyway, Cody wins the Royal Rumble last year after he actually was out for 9 months because he tore his pectoral, but won.
Was he out that long?
Yeah, he's out for, well, no, 4 months. He was out for 4 months.
All right. So
tore his pectoral, was out for 4 months off the bone. He tore it off the bone. And still, like, one of the reasons why is because that people love him so much is the Hell in the Cell match that he had with Seth Rollins, where his pec is purple all the way down his side.
Yeah.
So people knew that, like,
it was really torn.
It was really torn, and he put on, like, not only did he wrestle, he wrestled one of the greatest matches people have seen in. Yeah, it was one of the matches of the year. So fast forward, tears his pectoral. He comes back and wins the Royal Rumble. This year-long story. This is now a 3-4 year-long story with the bloodline. He inserts himself into that storyline, does an excellent job, gives great promos about him gonna finish his. I'm going to finish my story that my dad started, right? So we have been invested in this for 2 years at this point of Cody finishing his story. And then enters
I'm already getting tired of the story thing, and I'll tell you why here in a minute.
I know, I get it.
Go ahead.
And then enters Dwayne Johnson.
The Rock.
Which, by all metrics, all of that, he's the box office superstar. Everybody knows that. He's the billionaire. He started there, all of that. He is inserting himself into the bloodline story. He shows up. He says, I want a seat at the head of the table. And then Cody, after winning the Royal Rumble for the second time, 2 years in a row, only one of 3 superstars to do that, gives up his spot to The Rock so that he can face Roman Reigns, his cousin. Immediately after, that leads us to this weekend, where it was a random Saturday night. We Want Cody was trending all day.
Yeah.
All day long, that We Want Cody. They got the Swifties involved. They showed, there was wrestling people on the corners of the internet that were showing videos of Cody Rhodes singing Taylor Swift so he could get the Swifties involved. They were trying everything they could do to get Cody's name, the We Want Cody hashtag, trending #1 worldwide, so it catch the eye of TKO, which is now the owner of the WWE.
Yeah.
Now we're left with up in the air. Some people think this is a big work that is due to they're doing this to garner more support for Cody, and I don't know where this is gonna take us. You think Dan thinks that they'll never give this title to a Rhodes, and I respect that opinion.
It's not so much a Rhodes; it's somebody that has kind of left and jumped ship, and they look at him. Management looks at him as a traitor because he built a rival company and kind of kicked their butt for a little while.
For a minute, but for all intents and purposes, they for a grassroots company basically to at least challenge them. Yes, they did kick their butt in some regard to the point where they had to switch up their programming.
They did.
Like AEW was,
it was a better
squarely
product
on a Wednesday night, and they're like, we have to move this to Tuesday nights.
It was a better product in the ring. I'll say this: it was a better product. But,
for a minute.
So, can I interact just a second on this story?
I would like to hear your opinion.
I know it's professional wrestling, right? But this is not the first time Corey's done this angle, right?
Cody,
you know, right? Did I say Corey? Cody.
Yeah.
You know, this is not the first time he's done this angle. So it was his story when he won the NWA title from Nick Aldis.
Sure. Yes.
And it's the same thing all over again. That's been rebooted and rebranded because his dad won the NWA title 3 times.
So he had to finish his.
So he had to finish that story. Now we got another. And most people, they don't. I mean, I'm kind of surprised we haven't seen that in the backlashes of social media. Wait a minute, he's already done this thing once.
Sure, right.
So, and look, I grew up where basically stories were told in the ring. You had promos on TV, but they were like 2-minute promos.
Sure.
And the rest was told in the ring. Now you got to spend an hour and a half or 2 hours setting up a match.
Sure.
And I know it's, a different timeline because before you had the internet, before you had TV all over the world, you had time to build it up. Now you don't have that time because the attention span on people today, it's a one-click wonder, right?
Which
so you got to get the attention now, and they get it.
Which is hard also because while they don't have time, they also have 3 hours worth of time
but people
on Monday.
Get bored. You can't tell me that the passerbys are watching the whole show.
No.
You might be.
No.
But the casual, what's going on here? They get. I know I do. And
sure.
I'm a wrestling fan.
That's Miss Coach's phone out there. So
I didn't know she's here.
She just I heard.
I didn't hear. I was like, "Where's that coming from?"
The voices in your head.
I heard a phone ring. I said, "Mine's right here." What's ring? Who's here?
No, I see what you're saying. For sure.
And again, I'm playing the other side. I'm playing both sides of this. As I'm probably the heel here. So.
You're not the heel, dude.
Well, I'm kind of playing the heelish role.
Yeah, but you've also stayed consistent on this regard, and I see your side of the story. Like I understand this. I understand that Triple H is in charge. Yeah. He's still connected to the McMahons, and as long as Bruce Pritchard is there as a part of the company, I think that he's puppeted by Vince McMahon.
Yeah.
Like, as long as Bruce Pritchard's there, Vince is going to have
a say,
some input.
Yeah.
And I heard that opinion on Squared Circle, which is a message board. And I was like, yeah, that probably makes sense.
And I'm not entirely right on this, but I will say that I don't know if Cody was as big a star as Sting, and yet they didn't allow Sting to carry the belt. Now, he might have not wanted it. I don't know.
Sure.
But they pretty much crushed Sting the first time he came out because Triple H had to get his victory over the last surviving member of the WCW.
The WCW, yeah.
But they did let Goldberg kind of have his thing.
They did.
So that kind of goes against what I've been saying. So, and Guerrero started there, and so did Booker T. Jericho. I mean, look what look what he's become or came in the WWE. So I'm not entirely right about this, but
I said Chris Benoit.
But I wasn't going to mention his name.
Yeah, my bad.
You did ahead and did it.
Sorry.
But I'm just saying it. Just look, I kind of hope Cody does do it because I'm tired of seeing the Roman Reigns and the Seth Rollins and all that. I'm tired of it. And I'm a little bit tired of The Rock, but not, he still gives the best promo.
No, and that's the thing is, this is hard because The Rock is one of my favorites of all time.
Yeah.
It's just one of those things. It's like, dude, you haven't been in the ring in 10 years.
Yeah.
For somebody that is grinding, that is giving their, week to week, these guys that we followed, Cody.
No.
Rock is 52 or something like that. Yeah.
Wow.
I mean,
Cody's late 30s?
He's 30. I think he's 2 years older than me. So, 38. Yeah. I think he is. Anyway.
It's just interesting to see it all evolve. And,
yeah, it is.
And I don't know. Maybe I could be wrong.
I think they'll give it to him eventually, but I don't know. Like, let's see. He's 38. Yeah, he's
Cody's
getting
38.
Yeah, which in wrestling terms,
that's not very old.
That's not very old. He's still probably got 10 years left in the business.
Just past world champion. Now this goes way above before your era basically. But Flair won the title at 31. Terry Funk was 30, 29, 30. Dory Jr. was 28. Briscoe was 30.
And those are young champions, actually.
Now, before Dory Funk Jr., Thez, Kaniski, Rogers, they were all old. Now, Thez wasn't when he won it first. He was 21. But he won the title 6 times up until he was 50 or 49.
It's crazy.
Kaniski was almost 40 Harley Race was 31 or 32, but he held the belt till he was in his 40s.
Yeah, like you could give the belt to Randy Orton right now, and I would not be upset.
Yeah,
and
he's 45.
Orton's like, Orton's 43.
Yeah, so that's close.
And if you gave him the title, I would be like, yeah, that makes sense.
And then the old school guys were well into their 50s and still wrestling. I mean, I'm talking about old school.
Yeah, they
didn't take the bumps that these guys take today. Those 50, except unless you're Sting, they didn't take those bumps.
Sting's crazy. Sting's a crazy
because
man.
If you watched a wrestling match in the 70s, it was a lot on the mat. You didn't see him go on the turnbuckles.
No,
you didn't see him make the high-flying maneuvers.
Right.
Harley Race and Terry Funk were really the first two to do that because Briscoe Jr., Dory Funk Jr., even Dusty tried to, but he was too big.
It's a big dude.
It's kind of like Terry Funk said in his book. I wished I could find it up there. I have his book up here. He talked about how Dusty thought he could float like a butterfly and sting float like a butterfly. What is it? Float like a butterfly,
sting like a
bee. He said he always talked about how he thought he flew like an eagle, but he really felt like a tubba. He always thought he was this high flyer.
That's so funny.
Yeah.
That's so funny.
Yeah, but anyway, it'll be interesting how it plays out. I'm curious. I mean, I'm a little curious. I was a lot more curious when I read that Cody stepped aside for The Rock. So we'll see how that all plays out.
Yeah, I don't know. And they're having a big press conference tomorrow at 6:00. Like it's supposed to be this big deal that kicks off WrestleMania, and there's supposed to be something that goes.
When is WrestleMania?
April 9th.
Yeah, they're going to change it.
There.
They're probably going to.
Yeah, I think they will. I just
either that or make it a three-way.
Well, they're trying to do what they. It's hard, but they're trying to manufacture what they did with the Kofi Mania, and what they did with the BS movement with
I don't
Daniel.
even know what that is. So
when Kofi Kingston won a couple years ago,
okay.
But Daniel Bryan, like, do you remember his story, the Yes movement,
yeah, I
all
do
of
remember
that?
that. Yeah,
yep, they're trying to manufacture that.
Yeah.
It did stink though because I do think I think Cody Meltzer said Cody was the plan the whole time to win the Royal Rumble.
Yeah, I know. I brought that up last week. That I thought like it was supposed to be CM Punk.
The problem is CM Punk was supposed to be in the main event with Seth.
Oh,
that was the problem.
Okay,
that's where this all went into.
So he wasn't going to face Reigns.
No, he was.
Seth
Cody
okay.
Cody was always going to face Roman.
Okay.
But CM Punk was going to face Rollins.
Did you see what I saw? What I told you about?
Yes, you did. Yep, yeah. I saw it too.
Yeah.
So it did look like that. Yeah, but everything that I've read is like Cody was the whole time, and he was supposed to face Roman the whole time. But since CM Punk was out, they needed somebody to face Seth instead, and so that's why that was like they changed at the last second.
So they're going to have Cody face Seth now?
That's what they have lined up right now.
Well, who's going to be? I mean, isn't Seth still the face?
Is
he switched again?
No, those two like Seth can work the heel with Cody, and they have a rivalry. They've faced so many times.
Well, he hindered him with that's where he got the
So they already have a history set up, and Seth would likely become.
I don't think that's going to get buy-in.
No, because we've seen it. This would be the fourth time. This is the fourth time we'd see it.
Yeah.
So that was the problem. Is like they panicked and they're like, well, we'll shift Cody to face Seth, but we've seen this 4 times, and we'll pull the trigger on The Rock coming in and face Roman. Because here's the thing, I think people want to see Roman versus Rock, like clearly.
Yeah.
I want to see that. But I'm like, you picked the wrong time. Pick it at SummerSlam. Do it at SummerSlam.
Where nothing's on the line.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like, that was my
because
big thing.
You can't give the belt to Rock anyway.
No.
Not really. I mean, he isn't there long enough. I guess you could. Neither's Roman Reigns.
No, that's the thing. Is like you're now. And my thing is like, I don't want them to face each other for the belt. I want them to face for the necklace.
Yeah.
That Roman wears.
Yeah.
The
head of the table.
Yes, the head. I can't remember the name of the necklace. I want them to fight for that.
Yeah.
I think that would be way interesting. And you can like suspend this, like Rock is gonna win the championship and try to defend it while he's there. Like it's never gonna happen.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
anyway, not a wrestle talk, but
Yeah, that's a long
but
segment.
it is WrestleMania season.
Yeah, it is, and we'll certainly have this discussion again. Plan is to have a post Super Bowl show next Wednesday. Hopefully,
Yes.
That's the plan anyway.
If I'm not in a hole somewhere,
Yeah,
if we lose.
Yeah. I'll come to you.
Thank you.
We'll do a remote. We'll find you. We'll go on a mission. A mission,
Where
I
is
say.
he? He's back in the hole.
So if you're listening to us, and look, I just feel like I need to shout this out. So Casey and I both attend what used to be Trinity Baptist Church in Yukon. Changed our name this past weekend, and now we're Together We Church, which is a pretty cool thing. I have some of their swag here, but I'm not going to bring it out right now. But anyway, we've been on this Together We movement for, 4 years? And we built, our church built a center called Together We Center, which houses the Faith Clinic, which gives free medical care to Canadian County, has a clothing room, and a manna pantry, all built into one building. And we've followed this path of together we pray, together we give, together we serve, together we teach people, those kind of things. And there's 7 different topics, and I can't even remember all 7 right now. But somebody came up with the wild idea to change the name to Together We Church, because there are 10 Trinity Baptist Church or somewhere around there in the Oklahoma City metro area. 10 Trinity Baptist churches.
Yes.
So, but there's no Together We's churches, so it made sense. Just made sense.
Yeah, it does. It makes a whole lot of sense.
Anyway, I felt like I need to get that out. And then one last thing before we get into our Super Bowl preview. Yesterday, one of my very dear friends from almost 50 years succumbed to cancer. And just like to shout out to his family. I'm not going to mention by name, but just a guy that I'd known since I was in 8th grade, and our families were close, and we went to church together, and we graduated high school together, and his siblings or one of his siblings is connected here in Oklahoma, in the Yukon area, in the ministry, and an in-law connected to the ministry. So one of his other siblings is involved in the ministry in the Dallas Metroplex area. Just give my thoughts and prayers out to the family. And he found out and was diagnosed in October, and it went quick.
I'm sorry to hear that.
Yep. Anyway, prayers for the family.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, so just to kind of give people a setup here. So Casey and I started week 1 of the NFL season, and we had generally 10 games every week, and sometimes we had more, and sometimes we might have had less because there was a game that got canceled or something like that. And so I got to get my list here, though. So in the course of the year, it's kind of gone back and forth, and then maybe the last 3 or 4 weeks, the tide kind of changed. So week 9, KC had that wasn't it. Where is it? 52, 53.
I held a lead for most of the year.
Yeah, you did. Either 1 or 2 games. It was really close. I'm trying to see when the tide changed. Yeah, you had a 1-game lead for off and on for most of the weeks. I know there was one where I got really behind. You had a 5-game lead at one point. That was week 4. Week 4, and then it kind of started staggering after that. You had a 1-game lead there. Looks like you had an 6-game lead there, and then it went back to. No, it was a 6-game lead there, and then it was tied there, and then I started kind of trickling away, started chipping away at it, and then I tied it up in week 12, and then we were tied in week 13. You had a 1-game lead in 14. A 1-game lead in 15, tied in 16, I took a 2-game lead in 17, and then looks like I got a 3-game lead in 18, and this is kind of going in the college football playoffs. And then last week, the championship weekend, you were 2-2. I was 3-1, so I'm in a 3-game lead now. So going into the final week of the year. So.
And here we go.
All right, so let's see. I'm going to put you on this side. I'm going to put me on that side. And then, all right, so it is Kansas City versus San Francisco. All right, so the over and under, sir?
Okay, the over-under is set at 47.5 points.
47.5 is the over. And then the spread?
The spread is -2 in favor of the Niners.
So they're going to be -2.0.
Yes.
Okay, we'll come back and do that one last.
Okay.
All right, so prop bets.
Okay, here we go. So our prop bets are as follows. Okay, so I have a couple options here. We can do the length of the national anthem.
Let's do that one.
Okay, do you think it's over 90 seconds? Okay, over 90 seconds or under 90 seconds? The singer of the national anthem this year is Oklahoma's own Reba McEntire.
Oh.
So Reba's doing the national anthem. Do you think she will be over or under?
Going under.
You're going under.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I'll take the over because I got to make some ground up here.
All right. All right.
Okay.
All right, next one.
Coin toss result.
Coin toss, okay.
Do you heads or tails?
I'll let you pick it.
I'm going tails. Because tails never fails.
You know what? I'm going to go heads.
Okay. All right, so we have some ground that we can make up here.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, is the first offensive play going to be a run or a pass?
Offensive play.
Run or pass?
I guess it depends on who has the ball. I'm going to say pass.
Okay. I'm going to stick with pass as well.
That's a good call. Both are fairly good passing teams. It makes sense.
Yes.
Okay, next.
Let's say, will there be a score within the first 7 minutes of the game? Yes or no?
7-minute score. I'm going to say no.
Okay, I'm gonna say yes.
Okay.
Yep, I'm gonna say yes.
Okay. All right.
Okay, who is the first team to score?
I'm going to say KC.
I'm going to say Kansas City as well. And then jersey number of the first touchdown score, is it an odd number or an even number?
The jersey number of the first score.
The jersey number of the first score, is it odd or even?
I'm going to say odd.
Okay. I'm going to go...
Now, wait a minute.
Yeah?
So, wonder if the pass is to the quarterback is an odd, which both of them are.
Yes.
Or is it the one who actually is carrying the ball?
Yeah, the one that crosses the goal line.
Okay, I'm good with that. I'm good with odd.
You're good. I'm going to go even because I think Isaiah Pacheco is going to score first.
Okay.
Okay.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We have 2 more.
Now 2 more. Okay. Gatorade color.
Yes.
Gatorade color.
So is there options there? Or
no,
we just pick?
We're just picking.
Gatorade color. So we could very well have a push on this one.
Yes, because I'm going red. I believe last year it was purple, but I think I'm going red this year.
Oh, so you're going red. I'm going to go clear. So clear or white. How's that?
Clear white. Okay, gotcha. Cool. And then who is your Super Bowl MVP?
Ooh. MVP. So I'm kind of I'm kind of picking the winner here if I do this. Do we have an option? Do we have another option on this? Because I think it kind of.
Let's go. We can move into our picks over under, and then we can give our MVP as well.
All right, let's do that.
Let's do that.
All right.
Okay.
All right. So I'll do the over under. You said 47.5. I'm gonna say over.
Okay. I'm gonna say over as well. Actually.
All right. And then I will pick first here as well, so you can have the last laugh. It's 49ers minus the 2.5. So I'm going to say, I'm gonna take the Chiefs minus the 2.
Okay.
And I know that's what you're picking, so there's no sense in, right?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yes. Absolutely.
All right. All right, MVP. I already know you're picking there. I didn't have to think about it.
Do you, though?
Yes, I do.
Okay.
And it's not Taylor Swift.
No.
You know, there was one we could throw in. There's a tiebreaker. I'll come back to that here in a second.
Okay.
If we can figure out how to. Do you know where I'm going?
No.
But so let's finish this.
Okay.
I'm gonna go against. I guess probably I should. I don't know.
Do you know who I'm? You don't know who I'm picking though.
Yeah.
Because maybe I'm going out of left field here.
I mean, I don't know who else to pick. I mean, if 49ers win, it's going to probably be Deebo Samuel or Brock Purdy or Christian McCaffrey.
Yeah.
If 49ers win, there's only one option, in my opinion, or maybe
Chiefs
Travis Kelce. But I've already picked the 49. The Kansas City Chiefs to basically win the game, unless they win it by a point. No, they win it anyway. No, they wouldn't. Yeah.
I'm telling you, I'm going out on a limb. Okay. So if you want to take Patrick Mahomes, take Patrick.
I'm going to take Patrick.
Okay.
I think I was going to pick him anyway.
You take Patrick.
Yeah.
I'm going to take Chris Jones.
Who's that?
Stone Cold Chris Jones.
Who is it?
The defensive lineman that.
What? You're picking a D lineman.
Yeah, I'm going to pick. I think he's going to wreck.
That's going to cost you the game.
You think that's going to cost everything? Fine. I'll take Travis Kelce.
Okay.
Give me Travis Kelce.
Kelce. Okay.
But I think Chris Jones is going to wreck shop.
So tiebreaker? How much time over and under does the camera get Taylor Swift?
So time is tough. That's tough. How about how many times they show her?
Okay.
And I think that
is there a prop on it?
I don't know because we don't know if she's gonna even be there.
She's gonna be there. Are you kidding me?
She's in Japan.
If she isn't there, then we'll scratch it.
Yeah. Okay. So I don't know, but watching every game, I think you could set it about 5.5 times. Appearances. Super Bowl. Let's see if there is one.
We can set it wrong.
Okay, let's say.
You said it. I trust you.
Yeah, sportsbooks won't take any bets possible. Okay, so let's do 5.5 times.
Okay, I don't care if you pick 7, but I'll go 5.5.
Okay,
I'll pick over.
Okay, 5.5 seems. Yeah, we'll say under. Because she's been on the TV for a total of an average of 20 seconds a game.
Tiebreaker. And that's from start to the game to the finish, not in before and after.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay. Yeah, I'm good with that. All right. We're set on our props. So just so we're clear, you picked the over. We both picked the over on the game. And we both picked... Did you pick over? You did pick over, right?
Yes.
Okay, so we both picked the same thing on the game. You picked Chiefs.
Yeah, I think it's the Chiefs
or
the
plus
over.
the 2.5, or 49ers minus 2.5, whatever. And so did I. Okay, right?
Yes. Yeah, you picked the Chiefs in the over.
Yeah, I picked Chiefs minus 2, plus 2.5.
Plus 2.
Yeah.
Yep.
I don't know why I said minus. Yeah.
Yeah,
plus,
because it doesn't even make any sense that they're not favored.
Yeah,
that's probably why.
And then, so the National anthem, over or under 90 seconds. You picked under. I picked under. You picked over, right?
No, you picked over. I picked under.
No, I picked under.
Oh, yeah, I picked over. That's correct.
Yeah, that's right.
That's right.
And then coin toss, I picked heads, you picked tails.
Correct.
Offense, first offensive play, run or pass. We both picked pass. Yeah. First scored in the first 7 minutes. You say yes. I said no. Right.
Yeah.
First team to score. We both
said
picked Chiefs.
Kansas City.
Jersey number, odd number, or even number. You picked even. I picked odd. Gatorade color. You picked red. I picked clear white. Super Bowl MVP, you picked Travis Kelce. I picked Patrick Mahomes. And then if we have a tiebreaker and Taylor is there, the over-under is 5.5 times. If they show her, you pick the under, I pick the over.
There we go.
All right, there we go. There it is.
The tiebreaker is going to kill me.
Yeah.
That's what's going to be. That's going to be what's.
I don't think it will become a factor, truthfully.
No, probably not.
All right, so you want to tell people about us and how to find us and all that good stuff?
Yes, like Dan has talked about before, we are Faithletic The Podcast. We are a podcast that has been going on for 4 years now. And we really try to meld collide two worlds, really, of faith and sports. And so that's why we call ourselves Faithletic. We are here every Wednesday night, or most Wednesday nights, I would say, at 8 o'clock. Yep, on the YouTube, so you can check us out there. But you can also keep up to date with us on our Facebook page at Faithletic The Podcast. Mm-hmm. Just type that into the Facebook search bar. Check back at some of our past episodes. We have some excellent special guests that have included some wonderful people. We've had some power lifters on there. We've had some local, celebrities, or sports personalities. Yeah, even national. So, so go back and check some of those, and but we always end our show with devotion.
Yes.
And we like to call that Daily at the Cross, and Dan is going to take that away today.
Thank you, Casey. So this week, and by the way, I've said this now for a year, I'm in the process of writing one. This isn't one of them. I like to get my devotions from various sources, and these are not ones that I wrote, but I read a devotion every day, and one that sticks with me, I'll usually use it on the show. So here we go. This one is called Unleash the Power of Prayer. Scripture encourages us to pray, not because God wants us always to ask permission to do anything, but because God desires a relationship with us, His children. Many people wait until a crisis to pray, but prayer is always appreciated. Prayer is an excellent way to begin your day. Prayer is calming, cleansing, and rejuvenating. Prayer is open and available to everyone, even if this is the first time you've done it. There are no rules for prayer. Hold on a second. I have to switch something over. You can pray anytime or anywhere. Prayer can help you get to the fundamental matters of life. Take your time with this. Jesus showed His disciples how to pray. It was a simple prayer compared to the complicated and self-centered prayers that religious leaders were known to pray. And I'm going to break it for just a second. I saw something several years ago. I got the opportunity to be a counselor for the Franklin Graham, came to town in 2012, 13, somewhere in there. And I was counselor for both the youth rally and the adult one. And we were going through this training, and they had they were having a guy who was trying to pray, but they had like a rally guy interpreting, like a pastor. So it's going, "Dear Lord, help me with this. Holy Jesus, help the guy." He would come in and do it in preacher speak. Sure. It was funny. It was like interpreting, a different language or something. So there isn't any method behind prayer. You just talk to God. Just act like, just not act, but talk to Him, and that's a prayer. When was the last time you prayed? Did you pray at specific times each day, which I do in the morning and try to at night? And during the day, I'll just stop and, if I'm in my car and I'll pull over and say, hey, Lord, I need to talk to you a minute. Those things are fine. Do you pray throughout the day? What do you pray about? Whom do you pray for? And look, I would just suggest if you're trying to understand prayer, pray for the people in your life, pray for wisdom, pray for guidance, pray for protection, pray for the people around you, pray for clarity. There's all kinds of things that you can pray for healing. God says for us to pray for each and everything. And sometimes him not answering is his answer. He needs you to figure it out. So, and this is just like an example. Dear God, I've not prayed as much as I should. Forgive me for neglecting my relationship with you, and show me how to improve it. Bring to mind people and situations to pray for throughout my day, and strengthen my faith with answered prayers. In Jesus' name, amen. And then one of the things you can do is make a list. Make a list of specific people or situations to pray for. Set timers throughout the day to pray for those things. Pray consistently for these things, and record each time God answers your prayers. So it's just, a thought of maybe some way to pray. And I love Proverbs. I mean, there's a couple, people have asked you for, hey, where can I start in the Bible? Well, at the beginning would be a nice start. But if you just need to kind of get grounded to it, Proverbs is a great chapter.
Absolutely.
Great or book of the Bible with great chapters. There's things in there about everyday life that apply. Another one probably would be any of the four Gospels, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Those, which one's your favorite of the four Gospels? Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John. What do you would say if you were trying to direct somebody to go read to help them?
So I would say probably Matthew,
okay.
But I really like Mark.
Yeah, I like Mark.
Yeah.
I
think Mark.
And just so you know, Kyle's an ordained pastor, so
yes,
he does know a little bit his way around a Bible.
I like Mark because it talks about the miracles more so.
Yeah.
So I like that.
I like Mark too, and I'm an ordained deacon, not the same thing as a pastor, but basically the
but
same
still,
ritual.
Yep, absolutely.
It's identical. This is Proverbs 6:9. The Lord has heard my plea. The Lord will answer my prayer. That's real simple. That's
Amen.
from Proverbs.
Right.
Anyway, there you go, Daily at the Cross, and you can go pick up. There's probably over 100 episodes in the last 4 years, maybe 150, that are either Facebook, Twitch, or YouTube that you can go back, and every one of them has a devotion at the end. So
I don't think we've
fast forward it.
I don't think we've ever missed.
Not done it. I don't think we have either, unless we lost the show at some point during the show.
But I don't think we've ever missed.
I don't think we have either. I'm proud of that fact. And there are times in our show in off season that you will find out, because we may not be here every week, but we're going to have a show. And in that show, we're going to do something that pertains to sports or entertainment or music or movies. But I promise you, we will be consistent with the devotion.
Amen to that.
We're not changing that for anything or nobody. I'm
not
doing it. And if I ever have to change it, I'll quit doing it.
Well, I'm not changing it.
Yeah, I'm not changing it. Well, I'm just saying if the FCC came and said, hey, you got to quit doing what you're doing, like, well, okay, I'll quit doing it, but I'm not going to quit doing it.
Right.
I mean, if I can't do this on one of the formats, then...
Well, that would be crazy.
I mean, I wouldn't say it wouldn't happen, but, could happen.
It could happen.
Yeah.
You never know.
Just hope not. All right. Well, that's been our show today. Any parting words? Go Chiefs, I guess, maybe, right?
Go Chiefs.
Yeah.
It will be, I believe, the score will be.
Oh, yeah, here we go. We never picked a score.
No, we didn't.
That.
Yeah.
Hey, let's put that down.
Yep.
Go.
So, I am.
That's a second tiebreaker.
Yes. I am picking 28-17 Chiefs. I think they'll win.
28.
Yes.
So KC, 28-17. DB. Okay. I'm going to say 31-30 KC.
Ooh. So you want my heart on the line. They're saying, like, I'm going to have a heart attack this game.
And it'll probably end with the 49ers going for 2 and missing it.
Yeah,
There will be resuscitation at Kyle's house.
I might die. It might be over for me. Thanks, DB. Appreciate it.
I'm always here to entertain, right?
Yep.
All right. We appreciate you joining us tonight. I am Coach, and I'm with
Casey.
And we are
Faithletic
The Podcast. Have a good night. Thanks for joining us. Remember that Jesus loves you.